Yo, what is going on, guys? It is Royal fucking Stonerz here. Welcome back to the motherfucking channel, alright? Welcome back, boys and girls. How are y'all doing today? Let me know down below in the comments. You know, I always like to know, alright? Now, we're coming in with a fucking baller, a fucking banger, a fucking doobie, okay? This is a fucking goddamn woozy, alright? This is part 2 to getting arrested. This is a banger story time. I'm just gonna let y'all know right now. You guys are not prepared for this motherfucking video. It's gonna knock you guys out of this solar system, alright? Now, I don't know if you guys have been seeing what's going on in the world right now. The motherfucking world is ending, guys. Everything is going to shit. I'm not gonna get too into details with it because that's a sensitive ass topic, but I have got to upload more videos, guys. I've got to make more content because, you know, it might just be almost too late, you know? I don't know. I'm probably about to move to fucking Switzerland or something, but anyways, guys, this video is a fucking crazy one, alright? Now, where we left off in the last video, you know, we were talking about how I just got there at the homeless camp and shit like that, and we were talking about all the people that were there, alright? You know, we had a few characters in the story time that I was talking about. You know, we had Billy, you know, the homeless guy who flew a sign for money. Really, all of these people flew a sign for money. But, that doesn't fucking matter, alright? We had Billy and Tracy, you know, they were a couple, alright? Billy was tall, had a beard, smelled like shit. We also had Tracy, which was Billy's girlfriend, and she was a big lady. She was I'm not gonna say that because that's rude, but, you know, she also smelled like shit. She smelled like piss, shit, and asshole, and so did Billy. You know, they never took showers, alright? Which is pretty fucking mind-boggling to me, because even when I was homeless, man, I would at least go, like, fucking bathe in a dumpster or something. I'm just playing. I wouldn't go bathe in a dumpster, but I'd go home and take showers, you know? Because my family, even though they kicked me out, they still let your boy come home and take showers, because, you know, I had to take care of myself a little bit, considering I was out there doing the absolute most, alright? You know, we had Billy, Tracy, Matt, and, Bam, Stephanie, Mikey, and Lucy, alright? So, Matt, you know, this dude, he was a kid around my age, you know, he kind of had I think he had a goatee, and, he wore a hat. He always wore that shit backwards, and, the motherfucker liked ICP. He also liked freestyling, okay? Now, I don't know if I mentioned that in the last video, but this motherfucker was a rap god. He couldn't freestyle that good, but he liked it. He liked to rap. He had He had aspirations, alright? He had goals of becoming the next Eminem, alright? You know, he would rap and shit, and we would all just sit around and fucking dance like some fucking tribal people, you know? We were, pretty fucked up. I'm just playing. We didn't do that, but look. So we had Billy, Tracy, you know, I already said their names. I'm fucking tripping, alright? So, you know who Lucy is. That's my ex. And, we had Mikey, a dude with dreads, and he kind of looks like the Minecraft, character Steve. He has a block head. And, you know, I don't really like this dude. This dude's a piece of shit. You know, come to find out, he's actually abusive and a manipulative asshole, like I tried to tell Lucy. But, you know, your boy Royal Stonerz is never right, okay? So, nobody likes to listen to me. Even when I try to tell people about drugs and stuff, and I try to tell them, like, which drugs not to do, they're like, fuck you, you don't know shit. Motherfucker, I am a drug philosopher. I know just about everything there is to know about getting high, alright? You know, I did it for fucking 10 years. So, anyways, we had Bam and Stephanie too. You know, Bam was a piece of shit, bald motherfucker with a tattoo on the top of his head. And Stephanie was his girlfriend that looked like a dyke, who was pretty nice. She was a pretty chill person. You know, they would always get into fights though, and, you know, Bam would smack her, and fucking Stephanie would cry, and it was pretty fucked up, alright? I did not like this dude at all, so. You know, I was chilling at the homeless camp. I was sitting on a fucking bucket, you know. I was chilling in the landfill, okay? This motherfucking place was like a landfill, okay? There was just trash everywhere, fucking shit, piss. They'd shit in buckets, piss in buckets, man. They were some foul-ass motherfuckers. They lived like animals, bro. I'm not even fucking joking. I don't know why the fuck I was over there. Well, actually, no, I do. I can't say I don't know why, because I was over there to get high, okay? I never really came over there just to enjoy being in a landfill. You know, we were chilling, right? You know, everybody else was chilling around. Billy and Tracy, they were laying down in their tent, like sitting up, you know what I mean? They had, okay, so the little area, right, it was like a gazebo, but it was like a gazebo that had a tarp over it. It was like one of them, the metal gazebos, you know what I'm talking about? That, you can put up and like put a tarp over. They had that right in front of their tent, and at their tent was an opening where they were just chilling at and sitting, right? And we had Lucy and Mikey. They were sitting on the couch that was out there. Yeah, they had couches, man. They were not the best couches. They were not in the best condition, you know. They were moldy, shitty, nasty, putrid, but you know, they were chilling on them, man. They were sitting there like there was no tomorrow. They were sitting there like they were in a luxurious mansion, okay? So they were chilling. Bam and Stephanie were sitting on the other couch, and I was sitting on a bucket next to Matt, and you know, we were vibing, man. Matt was freestyling. Mikey was freestyling, because, you know, Mikey also was an aspiring rapper. I don't know if I said that or not, but he was also a wannabe rapper, okay? Now, Mikey could actually freestyle a little bit. Even though it wasn't good, he could still rhyme and shit, you know? He'd talk about some crazy shit while he was rapping, shit that was just stupid. You could not become a rapper with the type of shit this man was thinking about, okay? We were chilling, right? Talking, and I was like, what's up, man? How y'all been, man? You know, I was off the bars. I was feeling loosey-goosey, guys. I was fucked up, man. I shouldn't have been smoking meth while I was on these motherfucking bars, because it got me so high that, like, I couldn't even function, dude. Like, I was so fucked up. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know who everybody else was. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't like that at first, alright? We're gonna get into how I was at first. I was chilling there talking to everybody. I was talking to Lucy and Mikey. I was like, why'd you guys set me up, right? I was like, what was that about? And they were just like, Lucy was like, I don't know what you're talking about. And Mikey was like, man, you were tripping. You were in psychosis. And I was like, motherfucker, if you lie to me one more time, I'm gonna smack the dog shit out of you. And then I'm gonna fucking beat you to the ground and fucking rape you. No. Okay, so, whoa, I shouldn't have said that. Anyways. Look. Guys, I am a fucking hooligan when I'm not on drugs. I cannot fucking explain hard enough how, like, fast my brain goes, man. I got ADHD like a motherfucker, so bear with me here, okay? I was talking to them, asking them that, and they were trying to gaslight me into believing that it never happened, okay? To this day, I actually do not know if it really happened, but, you know, I'll find out one day. I mean, I'm never going around them again, but I'll find out, alright? So we were chilling, right, and then Billy and fucking Tracy, they whip out the bowl, and they start sparking that shit up, you know? They get a torch, and they start lighting the bottom of it, and they start twirling that bitch, and they're, like, passing it around and shit, and, it gets to Lucy, and, I'm on the bucket, so I'm, like, sitting kind of next to Lucy and Matt, and it gets to me, and I'm like, yo, can I hit that shit? And they were like, of course, Royal Stonerz. We know you're on so many Xanax bars right now, but yes, you can hit the methamphetamine. So they passed that bitch to me, and I start twirling the bowl too, and I'm like, damn, I really needed this. That's all I remember feeling. Like, I was like, fuck yeah, finally. So, your boy was gone, man. I was so fucked up, like, I can't even put it into words, bro. But, you know, we were just vibing, smoking this fucking meth, and eventually Bam and Stephanie, they end up having to go somewhere. I don't remember what happened. I don't remember if they were arguing or what, but they ended up leaving. So it was just me, Billy, Matt, Lucy, Mikey, and Tracy, I think. Yeah, Tracy. And, and, you know, we were, fucking vibing, bullying in the homeless camp, the motherfucking landfill, the garbage disposal area, I guess you could say. We were just chilling, like I said, smoking meth, man, and a lot of time went by of me being fucking retarded. I was just sitting there trying to make people laugh, you know, as I do when I'm on drugs. I mean, I do it when I'm sober too, but like when I'm on fucking meth and Xanax, I try to become a comedian. I don't know how funny my jokes are because I can't really remember shit when I'm off the bars, but I was probably just acting like a straight dumbass, alright? I was probably making fun of them freestyling, and they probably thought I was being serious, and it was just a bad time probably, and I remember it being good, but you know, it became really late. It was around like 3 or 4 a.m. and I ended up asking Lucy. I was like, hey, you know how I owe you money and I stole your AirPods? Can I just give you a bar? I had like 1 or 2, I think 2 bars left. I had 2 bars left. I was like, can I just give you a bar to make up for all the shit that I've done? And she was like, Royal Stonerz, that's not gonna make up for the $100 in AirPods you stole from me, but sure, you can give me a bar. So, you know, out of the kindness of my little drug addict heart, I gave her a Xanax bar. I was like, here you go. These are smacking like fucking good crack, so take it wisely, take it carefully, okay? So I gave her the bar, right, and you know, I popped my other bar, and I think I had 2.5 bars left. So I don't remember really exactly, guys. You're gonna have to, like I said, bear with me, because this story was a minute ago. It was 8 months ago. So you know, I took my fucking Xanax bars, the rest of my Xanax bars, and they ended up having to leave, right? Lucy and Mikey, they were like, yo, we gotta go because her dad's finna be home. And if you guys don't know, Lucy lived with her parents, and her parents, like, even though she's an adult, they still be tweaking out on her. It was weird. Like, they just don't I don't know. They do drugs too, so if that just gives you an idea, you know, it should. But they'd want her home and stuff like that. Well, actually, I think I know why. Because she was out there doing the most too, just like me. She was out there doing dope and all that shit, so they worried about her. So I get it. But we were chilling, right? And we got up, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna follow y'all home and just walk y'all home, and you know, and shit. And I was like, just tell me how that Xanax bar hits when you get home. No, I didn't say that because I wasn't there yet. But dude, just listen, all right? We got up, we were walking, right, and we were walking through the neighborhoods and stuff, just kicking shit. I was stumbling like a dumbass. I was so fucked up, man. I was stumbling a lot, dude. And you know, we ended up getting to her house, and I tried to stay. Okay, this is where things started getting a little wild. I tried to stay. I was like, yo, can I please just stay here? I do not want to go back to that homeless camp. I don't like those people. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing right now. Please just let me stay so I don't go to fucking jail. And they were like, no. Well, Lucy was down for it, dude. She was game, man. But Mikey was like, no, you're not staying here. There's no fucking way you're gonna do that. You have to go. And I got into an argument with him. I was like, man, this ain't even your house. How can you tell me I can't stay here when your name's not on the fucking lease? You don't own a single bit of this property. You're not gonna tell me what to do, man. You better find you something safe to do if you know what's good for you, you know? I was fucking mad. And he got in my face and he was like, yo, you gotta go. You're acting fucking belligerent. You got to deal. You gotta go. So, you know, I said, fuck you guys. I'm gone. So I got up, you know. I was already standing up. I gave Lucy a hug, and I fucking dipped, man. I got my little stick and bandana, and I headed on my merry way. You know, I walked away fucking sad. Like, you know, I looked at her like a fucking puppy, and I put my head down, and I just started walking away. My bad, guys. There was a fucking motorcycle or something that just drove by, and I'm filming this video outside, so if y'all couldn't hear me that well, I'm sorry. But, I mean, I'm pretty sure you could. But listen, guys. I walk back to the homeless camp, right, and I'm stumbling, fumbling like a motherfucker. I literally cannot walk straight at all. Like, if you told me to walk in a straight line, and if my life depended on it, I'd fucking die. I would have died right then and there. I just would have not even tried. I would have just fell over and died, okay? So I got back to the homeless camp, right, and fucking Matt, Billy, and Tracy, they were just chilling, right, and they were smoking the last little bit of their dope, and I didn't realize at the time it was their last bit because, you know, I was fucked up, but we were sitting there smoking, right. At this point, I was sitting on the couch now, you know, the dirty-ass couch, and we were smoking, right, and they were like, we're out of dope, and I was like, what? I was like, ain't no way. I was like, you better get some more fucking meth. And they were like, we are out of money and we have to wait till the morning to go fly a sign. So I was like, god damn it, I guess I have to go do something, right? So you know, it's like, I think it's around like 7 o'clock in the morning at this point. I don't really remember what time I got arrested at, if I'm being honest with you. I could probably go look or something, but I don't got time for that right now. I'm making a fucking banger story. So, you know, I was like, damn it, I guess I'm gonna have to go do this fucking work. I'm gonna have to go get some money somehow. So, you know, I'm like, alright guys, here, keep my phone just in case I fucking, like, do something stupid. I don't remember why I gave them my phone, but I gave them my phone, right? And I was like, alright, I'm finna go make some shit shake. So, you know, I leave the homeless camp. I walk through the woods. I get out the homeless camp, and I am walking down the road that's behind the wall, beside the Walmart. And I start going over to the shopping center, right? And I'm just thinking, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm finna break into cars, alright? This is where the fucking straight fucking hooligan activities begin, you know? I I don't know what the fuck I was really thinking, bro. I wasn't thinking at all, bro. I was on so many drugs I couldn't even feel my face. So, you know, I get to the shopping center, right, and I ended up walking into a pet store, right. So I walked into a pet store to get my shit together because, you know, I was so fucked up. I knew I could not fucking break into a car right now because I was so goddamn high. But actually, honestly, if I remember correctly, I thought I was acting sober. And that's a bad thing that bars do because they make you feel like you're sober than you really are. And I was not acting sober by any means. If a cop would have seen me, like, before I broke into cars while I was fucked up, it would have been a lot better for me. I wouldn't have had felonies, but I would have been in jail either way. I was going to jail that day either fucking way, guys. It was just gonna happen. It was bound to happen. And honestly, it saved my life, so I can't complain. You know, your boy's 8 months sober now. Hip hip hip, hip hooray. But you know, I walked into the pet store, right, and I ended up seeing a childhood friend of mine, and this is really sad. She was talking to me, and she later told me in jail when I called her on the phone. She said I was so fucked up. I didn't know where I was. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know who she was, and she said she was gonna call my grandma to come get me, but she said I went into the bathroom, I destroyed the fucking bathroom, like I tore it apart, and then I fucking left. And she came to the bathroom to try to find me, and I was gone. So, you know, I walked in, I said what's up to her, and I fucking dipped out before she could say anything. So, I ended up leaving the pet store, and this is where I started breaking into cars, guys. You know, I was fucking doing the most. I walked out, I started trying everybody's door handles, and eventually I got to a truck that the door handle, the truck was unlocked. So I fucking opened that bitch up, went through the motherfucker, went through the dashboard, stole a phone. I stole like 2 phones, I think, and I looked in the back seat, and there was a white basket with a Sawzall in it, guys. A motherfucking Sawzall. And a bunch of other shit. I think purses, jewelry, all kinds of shit. I don't really remember, but I had a lot of stuff, alright? So I grabbed that basket, I put the other phone in the basket, and I start checking more cars. I don't really remember how many cars I broke into, but I broke into a few. And I ended up getting like 4 phones, a Sawzall, some purses, some money, jewelry, and rings and stuff. And I remember coming to, I was blacking in and out of consciousness, guys. You know how the bars are. And I remember coming to, right? And I was in front of this black Nissan or something that had a fucking iPhone 15 in the seat, or an iPhone 14 in the seat or something. It was a brand new iPhone, I could tell, but it was on the charger, right? So, you know, I tried the door handle, and to my fucking failure, it was locked. So, you know, I was like, oh my god, what am I gonna do? And then I look into my fucking white basket that I took, and I'm like, there's a wrench. I know what we're doing today, Ferb. So, I grabbed that wrench, I wrapped my hand in a fucking t-shirt, right? And I'm trying to break this window, but I'm so fucked up, I think my punches are like your punches in a dream, because I could not break the fucking window for shit. And I remember coming to, right? And there was people recording me. And they were like, what are you doing? What the fuck? I came to and I said, sorry, I'm sorry. And I went immediately right back to doing what I was doing because I was so fucked up, right? I think maybe 10 or 15 minutes went by of me just standing there trying to break into the car, because I remember looking in the fucking reflection of the mirror and the police were behind me, guys. The motherfucking cops. So I was like, oh shit, fuck, oh god. So the cops get out the car. He's like, what are you doing, sir? And I'm like, nothing. I'm just walking. I don't know. And they were like, all right, sir, you're gonna need to put your hands behind your back. You are being detained right now. And I was like, fuck. I was like, no way. I was like, I just got busted. So, you know, they have me in handcuffs. They put me in the back seat of the cruiser, and I'm just chilling there, and they got the white basket. They're looking through the shit. I'm looking at this all from like the window in the back seat of the cop car, and they're talking to this dude, right? And I'm pretty sure it was the guy whose truck I broke into. I don't know. They were talking to a guy out there, asking him if it was his shit, and I don't really remember if they gave the fucking basket to him or not. But I was sitting in the back seat, and they start questioning me. They get me out the car, and they start asking me questions. They're like, so what are you doing here today, sir? And I'm like, I was just walking back to the homeless camp. I'm homeless, and I was going to bring my homie Billy his stuff back. That's his basket, and I was gonna go bring it back to him. And they were like, are you sure it's his basket? I was like, yes sir, I'm sure it's his basket. You can go ask him if you want to. And they were like, no, we're not gonna need to do that. You're going to jail today, sir. And I was like, oh man. I was like, fuck, I can't go to jail. So, you know, they shut the door. They fucking, I don't even think I got out the car, if I'm being honest. They just opened the door and asked me questions. So they shut the door, and whole time I'm in the back seat, trying to get out these handcuffs, right? Because I'm thinking to myself, the second they open this door, I'm bucking, right? I'm getting the fuck out of Dodge. They open this motherfucking door and I'm running, right? So, you know, I'm in the back seat trying to get my handcuffs off, trying to squeeze my hands out the handcuffs, and the dude in the front seat's like, you gotta stop fucking playing with them handcuffs. Stop messing with the handcuffs. I can see you back there. I'm like, bro, I'm not doing nothing, dog. And they're just like, bro, you need to chill. So we ended up getting to the interrogation place or whatever, and they take me inside and they start interrogating me, right? And the whole time I'm sticking with my story, right? I'm like, you know, I was just walking with my friend's stuff and I was bringing it back to him because he let me borrow it. And eventually, guys, I cracked. They told me something, I don't remember what it was, and I was just like, yeah, I did it, I'm sorry, I broke into a couple cars. And they were like, all right, well, we're gonna have to take you to the county and we're gonna start processing you. So I was like, motherfucker, right? I was like, fucking great. So, you know, they take me to the county, we get inside. They don't even take me to a holding cell, guys. I was in that motherfucker crying, okay? I'm not gonna lie, your boy was bawling his eyes out. I was just saying the most, man. I got on the phone with my grandma. I couldn't figure out what my grandma's number was. It took me about 10 attempts to get my grandma's number, and eventually I called her, and I was like, I'm in jail, I'm sorry, can you please come and get me? She was like, Royal Stonerz, you were out on bond. You cannot get a bond. You're gonna be in there for a while. And I was like, I started sobbing, bro. I was like, I'm gonna kill myself if you guys don't fucking come and get me. And that is where I fucked up. Guys, if you ever go to jail, do not say you're going to fucking kill yourself, because they don't take that shit lightly. They don't tread on that shit, right? So they heard me say that and they were like, oh boy, you fucked up. That's what the lady at the front said. She said, you messed up. Don't be saying stuff like that. You probably can't get away from this. So I was like, fuck, dude. I was like, ain't no way. So, you know, I got off the phone with her. I realized I was actually fucked and I didn't know what I was gonna do. So, you know, I got to the little place. They took my fingerprints or whatever, and they started taking pictures of me, right? And they said, alright, so we're gonna take you to the suicide wedge. And I was like, what? And I was like, the suicide wedge? What? Why? They were like, we heard you talking to your grandma. You said you were gonna kill yourself. We gotta do what we gotta do. So, you know, they ended up taking me to this motherfucking suicide wedge, guys. And I'm going to let you guys know something about the suicide wedge before this video is over, because I want to save the jail experience for a full-on story. But, you know, something about the suicide wedge is they don't let you wear clothes. They give you a turtle suit, and you get no blanket. So, you know, I was in that motherfucking suicide wedge like an animal. I was mad, bro. I was so fucking mad, right? But I got in there. They gave me a sack lunch. I think it had some noodles, a bologna sandwich, and some cookies in it. And I got back there and I was fucking angry, bro. But I ended up falling asleep, right? And I woke up and I was like, God damn it, I'm in jail. So, you know, that's where this story ends, guys. If you guys like this story, let me know down below in the comments. Fucking like this video for another one. And if you guys want to see the jail experience, just let me know down below in the comments, and I'll make that shit as soon as possible, you know. Your boy is back, though, and I'm going to be making videos as much as possible because I'm free now. I'm not in a rehab no more, and I can actually upload content. So, you know, yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video, just fucking have a good one, alright?